boy 3MG. So I'm going to speak a little bit about Rainbow Six Siege. I believe the game is extended until September 31st or October 1st. I'm not too sure. I'll check up on that. But I will give you my insight on Rainbow Six Siege and its current state. Do I feel the game is worth the money that these devs are putting it out for? And my hopes for the game in long term. So one thing I do like, I do enjoy the game. I had fun playing it, whether with friends or not. I've been playing it on the PC. There's no real problem with me playing the game. It's just what I've noticed about the game as I was playing it. Do I feel this game has a longevity to its current state? And the fact that I see that they were going to release this game October 13th, with this beta being right around the corner at its release, I felt like, wow, you know, they better had pause this game and kind of delay it. First thing that came off bad to people was the speed of the game, the running. And let me just say that the running really didn't bother me because it was such close quarters that the speed of your guy running, even though it's slow, made sense for the type of genre and the type of shooter it was. It wasn't like the game was widespread like Battlefield where the map sizes are just ridiculous and you're running at that current speed. It's very close quarters, so I don't understand why people are complaining about the speed of the game, especially considering that depending on the class you have, your guy will run at a certain speed. If you have a riot shield, your guy is not going to run at the same speed of a guy with a riot shield in Call of Duty. So you need to get that mindset out of your head, because this is not that type of game. It is not promoted that way. It was never promoted to be this type of game. So everything was supposed to be strategic, tactical, and hands-on with, you know, teammates and on the base and the objective. I had no problem with the game, especially considering that the previous Rainbow Six games weren't fast-paced as well. They had their, you know, their areas of slow-paced gameplay, although the maps and designs in that game was a little bit bigger structured, more wide structured, but I didn't mind it at all coming into this game. Things I enjoyed were like the class customization. It didn't go far in depth, but to pick specific factions like SAS or SWAT, FBI SWAT, and a bunch others, I like the fact that they had different guns and incorporated your own unique class setup. And once again, it was not in-depth customization. It was just, you know, for each specific faction you choose, you had a list of guns and weapons and perks that you were able to pick. And I thought it was definitely cool for the type of game it was. My personal favorite is the shotguns. I love the 12 gauge or the pump shotty. I like all the shotguns in the game. They have decent range to the game. They do have damage to the guns. I like the fact that it felt like real-time bullet killing, however you want to say, where I would shoot the enemy. It didn't take long to kill an enemy. There was time where you had server issues, so I was shooting at somebody and then they killed me instantly, you know, but that was rare. But overall, I like the fact that everything was so tactical, and dying fast in the game made sense and balanced out the gameplay and its style as well. Other things I did like was that, surprisingly, whether or not I had my mic on or other teammates had their mics on, you know, everybody just stood together, whether they were typing in game chat or in voice. Everyone knew exactly the objective, and for the most part, I didn't have people just running gun. Everybody really was playing the way the game was supposed to be played. Although I do wish that more people had their mics on, just so that I can get more of the feel of how this game was originally designed to be played out for. But still, at the same time, people were playing very strategic. I didn't just see people running and gunning. People were building up, you know, bases and trying to block out windows. So for that most part, I was happy to see people really playing the game for what it was meant to be. People complained a little bit about the graphics. I'm gonna be personally honest with you. I didn't mind the graphics. I thought it looked pretty good. It felt a little bit, it's weird. It felt a little bit sci-fi-ish, the way the colors were mixed. Every time I got into the game, it was more of a nightish feel, and even during the day, it just seemed more, it had like a lot of bright colors. I didn't mind it at all. I thought the game looked pretty good to me. I wasn't really nitpicking graphics. I was more nitpicking on the gameplay, so I don't really mind the graphics at all. Personally, I thought the graphics were good. The destructible parts of the buildings or houses, or, you know, the maps or parts of the areas you played at, I did enjoy a lot. I think it's because how tactical the game was. Whenever I marked, or my teammates marked, an enemy with their drones or with the equipment that was provided by the class, I believe, like, as soon as I, you know, laid down equipment that I knew the enemy was either in front of or under or over, and I blew up that target right through the wall, I thought that was definitely dope. It gave me more of that feel of like, damn, this is real tactical FBI or SWAT team agent type of feel. And I thought that was cool too, because then your enemies rushed in and we just started shooting, trying to get to the bomb. So I did have fun in that aspect. Now, I do have some negatives in the game and my overall feel. One thing was just the servers kept crashing. Obviously, it's a beta. It's expected, you know, to be that way. for the most part, I was able to play like at least up to 10 matches, you know, with no problem. But then overall, I was just like, I hope this is not the only thing they're gonna deliver to us. I know they added another mode, but it's with AI, and I was just not interested in that, so I didn't really get to play that out. But I do know, like, overall the matches, they have a decent period of time extended. I'm not complaining about that. It was more of like, my personal thing was just, is this what they have to bring? Like, if this is the only thing they have to bring us, this is not going to be a true successor. It's not going to last long in the gaming industry. It's not going to last long in shooters. It's not going to be a killer of any sort. At most, it might just have that, you know, shine for when it comes out for the first couple weeks. But I don't really see any support backing this game up, considering that it felt like a free-to-play to me. It felt like a mixture, you know, shout out to the homie Fry. I heard him say it, but I felt the same way. It felt a little bit like a Payday game mixed with, like, I forgot another game. There's like another game mixed with Payday. Slow, you know, feel of just melee action, and just the moving around felt like slow. And you know that, like I said, the running around I didn't have a problem with it. But for being a tactical shooter, they should have added tactical features, you know, like maybe I haven't experienced it, maybe they are in the game, but when I went behind enemies, they didn't give me that ability to slit throat or choke them, put them to sleep, or any of that. Like, maybe it is in the game. I have not been able to experience that, but I was hoping to see more tactical features in this game. It was very bare bones to me. This game just had one single objective, and that was just to find the diffuser with the drones, go in from any angle of the building, and really just try to take enemies out or defuse the bomb or plant the bomb at the same time. And I felt if this is what they were trying to bring to the table, all these years of just delaying Rainbow Six, because like I said, the game is fun to play, but I'm thinking of it more of like months down the road. Like, we can't just think if this game is going to be hot for the now. We need to make sure this game is going to be hot for the future, and we need to make sure this game has a lifespan, because if not, then what's the point of purchasing this game? Right now, video games don't really have a lifespan unless they're one of those MMOs or MOBAs, because they don't have that much content to deliver us. Deliver to us. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I used to say, and I know Prof even said it, if I'm not mistaken, he said it in the past as well, that the previous Rainbow Six were ahead of its time. They had face scan feature. They had like this face scan feature, and in my opinion, it was ahead of its time because it was so tactical and hands-on. There was rarely any shooters out there at that time beating that game as far as being like one of the first person shooters for tactical shooters. There was rarely any game. I don't even think there was a game out there really competing to be a tactical shooter such as this one. I know they had like Bad Company or whatever, but I'm talking about first person tactical shooter, with the exception of their fucked up controller scheme that they had before in the previous Rainbow Six, because that was a real learning curve to learn the controller scheme, in my opinion, for the previous Rainbow Six games, because I didn't know at the time how to change controls up, whatever. That shit was difficult for me to get a hold of. This game, and now I can definitely say, it's like, this game is behind. It's not even like ahead of its time. This game is like really behind. Like, what have you been doing all these years? You canceled so many different Rainbow Six games. I feel like this game is just pushed, and I see the idea of what you're trying to do with this game, and I see the ambition, but I don't see the delivery coming in place, because I wonder what would have happened with Rainbow Six Patriots, because that game was looking good. You guys canceled that one. You guys knocked that one off the shelf and decided to come out with this without a story. And like I said, I don't care about the story when it comes down to Rainbow Six. I was really into this, you know, the multiplayer. But with a game without a story, I would assume so much was put into multiplayer. It feels like you was really just working on this game for a year without having any kind of idea or any kind of like imagination or envision or ambition to just really deliver a great tactical shooter. You guys were supposed to be that group or that team to deliver us a tactical shooter. We've been getting a lot of shooters that had too much arcadey stories, and you know, Rainbow Six always brought it to the table with that. So with this game, they brought it to the table as far as delivering us a tactical shooter, but it's very bare bones. In my opinion, feels like a free-to-play or a $24.99 game on Steam. It feels like a game that was just made for multiplayer with like several modes, that's gonna get, you know, updates in the future, and has some bugs. And that's what I see it as. I see it as a game that's worth $25. I don't see it as a game worth 40, 50, or 60. There's really nothing in the game as far as just the multiplayer, of course, but there's nothing that far in depth in game that will have you like, yo, this game has longevity. I don't see it like that. The way this game was promoted, I was like, yo, this is gonna be hot. But now playing it, I'm just like, it's so bare bones that for being a tactical shooter, I find it like a slap in the face or disrespectful that you don't have that much tactical features in the game. You know, I want to see more tactical features. I want to see more things, more equipment being used, more types of guns. You know, I know you get, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you get suppressors. You can get all this other equipment, accessories for your guns, attachments. But I don't see that much in the game. I know it's the beta. I understand that. But I just don't see that much in the game for a game that's coming out less than a couple months now because it's been delayed. You know, it's a bit disappointing to see how this game had in turn just destroyed itself, and just the team lacking and neglecting its, you know, previous, you know, success. And it's just, I don't know, but it's not going to get my money. I don't suggest anybody purchase this game for the full price. I believe you should just wait, and it will die down. If there's any tournaments, I don't see any tournaments lasting probably like less than like maybe a good 2 months of just tournaments, because it's so bare bones unless they deliver us. Like, I know they got other modes like hostage or whatever, but it's still going to be the same bare bones games. You're running into a building every type of game, and you're just taking out enemies or finding a location or whatnot. The hostage is going to probably be the same thing. There's going to be a hostage located in a specific part of the building, and it's going to be the same thing, run around. So that's just my feeling of the game. Let me know what you guys think. That's my personal opinion. I feel like it's a $25 game, and that's really it. Let me know. Drop your comments below. It's your boy 3MG, and I'm out. Peace.